we got to talk about America's team. How about them Cowboys? The Dallas Cowboys are 3-1 through 4 weeks, if you can believe that. Man, we all knew that the NFC East was weak, but the Cowboys are 3-1. They're looking like legitimate contenders. They're really looking like the 2016 Dallas Cowboys that were run heavy and relying on Zeke. Granted, it's not all Zeke. There is a heavy dose of Tony Pollard mixed into that. But Zeke is top 5 in the league in rushing. And what we saw to this game last week, they ran the ball a lot. This was not one of those Dak Prescott 50 passes, 400-yard performances. Dak only went Dak only had 188 yards passing. He did throw for 4 touchdowns, but his passing yards were very pedestrian. He only threw the ball 22 times. This was very, very much so like the formula of what they were doing in their first 3 years when Dak was just throwing, he was throwing very safe passes. They were running the ball, had the best offensive line in the entire NFL. But now you've got the emergence of this actual defense. Their last 2 draft picks are really starting to pan out. Between Trayvon Diggs and Micah Parsons, they hit straight-up home runs on both of them. Diggs, at this point in the season, is the best cornerback in the NFL, and Parsons is looking very good. Dallas exploded in the third quarter on Carolina. It was a tight game, and it was a very good Carolina team that they were playing on both sides of the ball. But Dallas put up 20 points in the third quarter, and they opened up a 33-14 lead, and that basically ultimately proved to be too much moving into the fourth quarter. They had Dallas rush the ball 34 times for 245 yards, and they actually only dropped back 22 times for 188. So they have definitely turned some kind of a corner. Maybe they're actually tailoring the game plan to the teams that they're playing, which would also be very optimistic for a Cowboys fan if you're looking at what you guys are doing week to week. All things are pointing up for the Dallas Cowboys. They've got wins over the Chargers, who were 3-1. Wins over Carolina, who were 3-1. Coming up, you got the Giants, easy win. You're at New England. Not really sure which Patriots team will show up. If you get the one that played against Tampa, then that could be a tight game. If you get the one that played against the Saints, you could blow them out. We don't know. But you got Minnesota, Denver, ATL, and then at Kansas City. And Kansas City can't stop a nosebleed. Their rush defense is the worst, one of the worst in the entire NFL. It's been going into the bye week. They could possibly be 9-1, maybe 8-2. It could be a real serious year for the Dallas Cowboys. They are legitimate Super Bowl contenders. I'm not picking them to go to the bowl, but I think they'll be in the mix. Definitely, at the very least, divisional round, possibly NFC Championship. I just don't see anyone still beating Tampa because Tampa, any team that Brady is with seems to just progressively get better throughout the course of the year. And they're at 3-1 now. I can't imagine the Cowboys beating them. But I'm absolutely buying the Dallas Cowboys. And then buying the Cowboys, I'm not selling the Carolina Panthers because Sam Darnold actually did play a very good game. He was 26-39, 300 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks, but he also ran 2 more touchdowns. So, he accounted for all 4 touchdowns that they scored in this game. So, the Carolina Panthers, they played a very tough football game. Sam Darnold has showed that the issue in New York was not him. He had no line. He had no weapons. He had no defense. You get him in a good situation, now he's 3-1, battling with the big dogs, basically. Hell, Dallas is a Super Bowl contender. You lost to them by 8 points. You in real battles now. Things have changed for Sam. And it's all just about the surroundings. The 2 interceptions that he threw were on Trayvon Diggs. One was a very bad read. One was just an amazing play for Trayvon, picking him off on an out route where most DBs in the league would not have gotten to that. So definitely hats off to the Dallas Cowboys, but I'm not scoffing at the Carolina Panthers either. Sitting at 3-1, I think they'll be fine. Definitely better than what I thought they would be this season.